Hi, I'm Al Forster. I'm going to give you a tour of a Ford Fusion hybrid that basically has EPA fuel economy at 47 highway and 47 city. This is what the car looks like from the inside. I'm going to turn it on so you can see some of the displays. When you turn this on, you get a little green double arrow in the corner here under a car that shows you that the car is on, but the engine hasn't started yet. This is what it looks like. It's telling me the door is still open, so I'll close that. And now I see a fuel economy gauge that gives me a minute-by-minute fuel economy for this vehicle. We're going to, right now it's got a fuel economy of 39.2 average miles per gallon, and there's plenty of leaves on the efficiency leaf display. Although since we're not moving, some of those leaves are starting to come off. The display here has several different options, from turning on heating to turning on a radio, moving, going to an entertainment screen that allows us to choose Sirius radio, and going to 80s, or let's see, I'm going to
Skid Row, Lost Hit,
50s. Look at the 60s on Sirius radio right now. There's another display that shows us how the car is doing. So we're going to start driving the car and see what this display shows us as we drive. So I'm putting this in a little camera stand that I have, and I'm going to put it in drive on my seatbelt, or it'll start dinging at me. Leave the subdivision. I don't know if you can see this or not, but the engine is now running. It's shown on this display as a flow of fuel to the drivetrain because I'm accelerating. And we're going to drive out onto the highway and see what kind of gas mileage the vehicle gets. Now, as I said, we're at about 38 miles per gallon. As I brake, a regenerative, a little circle shows up around the battery charge level, telling me that the braking is regenerating the car's display. I'm going to put it in park at this moment, and I'm going to plug in the battery, so that, and I'm going to check again to make sure that we're still recording. So as you can see, as I pull out onto a road where I can go 40 miles an hour, the display is showing me that I'm using gasoline right now. You can see the flow there. now the motor is off and the car is traveling on battery alone. What I've noticed is if you have about a mile to drive, you can set cruise control on, and the car will run very well for a mile, mile and a quarter without the engine running, which you can see on this display right now. You can also zoom in here and you can see this bar over on this side shows us that we're getting 60 miles to a gallon. And as you can still see, the engine isn't running, and we've gone about a mile now. The battery's down to about a quarter, so the engine will have to turn on again to recharge the battery. That display is right here. Right here. So the engine has turned on, and we're being told that the battery is being recharged. Getting on the expressway. As you can see, we're accelerating to about 60 miles an hour. The engine continues to run if we go above 62 miles an hour. That's how this was designed. So I'm going to drop back to after the battery is charged. The battery get charged at up to a reasonable level. The vehicle has very good acceleration capability. I'm going to accelerate now, and you can hear that engine kick in. Of course, that drops the fuel economy appreciably. Right now it's at 35 miles per gallon. Traveling at 70 miles an hour. So now I'm going to back off to 60 miles an hour so that the battery takes over. As you can see right now, there's fuel flowing. Since we're below 60, after the battery gets charged, watch this battery charge up. So the battery's about half charged right now, and we're going uphill a little bit. Down to leaf economy so we can see how we're doing on the economy scale. Right now the engine's getting about 40 miles per gallon. battery is almost fully charged at this point. So I'm going to show you what happens. This is a little bit above 62 miles an hour. You see fuel flowing. This is a little bit below 62 miles an hour. And you can notice that the battery is now running this vehicle, even though we're on a minimum access highway. As you can see, for the last 2 minutes, because the battery's been doing most of the work, we've been able to do 60 miles per gallon for the last 2 minutes. But because of the acceleration needed to get on this road and things, the overall economy is still only at 36. I'm going to show that the battery is recharged again. Now the car is just running on battery. We're going to get off at this particular exchange. Show you the regenerative braking. See the little icon around the edge here? Basically, it's a little loop. I don't know if you can see that or not. As I brake, it pulses and shows us that we're regenerating the battery some based on the deceleration of braking, but without actually using the brake shoes. Watch here as that happens again as I slow for the stop sign. Now we'll come back around and get on the expressway again.